You turn up late when 60% of the sales journey's been done, the percentage probability of you closing that sale or converting that sale into revenue for the company is very limited.
I've got Graham Hawkins with me again. Welcome back, Graham.
Thanks, John.
Graham, we've had a number of great discussions about how the whole world of sales and buying has changed dramatically, and we've talked recently about the buying journey, and everybody's talking about this, but
Yep.
I don't see a lot happening. And in part of that, you mentioned the alignment of marketing and sales. And I've heard you talk about the fact that marketing need to become salespeople and salespeople need to become marketing people. I think that's a bit controversial. I really want you to help me explain that. But when you talk about the need for alignment of marketing and sales, what do you mean?
It's a good question. A lot of people are talking about it now. And if I think back 10 years ago to the businesses I've worked in, the marketing team and the sales team, the two functions have been very much separate. So much so that they'll even be separate parts of the office.
Well, in some cases, you're talking about a fairly big corporate. You've got marketing sitting in another country, and in the country you're operating, you've basically got salespeople and not a lot of marketing.
And nowhere are the two objectives of the two departments aligned. You've often got marketing working on awareness, sales working on closing and conversion rates and pipeline development. But the two should be working closely together, and they must in the future to address the new buying journey.
And I've heard you and others say, and I think I totally agree with it, when you think about that buying journey, we need to, we can't rely on being called in 57% of the way through the buying process.
No.
Otherwise, we're just going to qualify out straight away if we're doing the right thing. We've actually got to be in that buying journey very early in the process.
Correct.
And to do that, salespeople can't run around being involved in every single buying journey. It's a marketing opportunity, isn't it? Marketing have to be involved in the actual individual opportunity.
Correct. If you think about the kind of return we're getting on cold calling now, it's almost a waste of time. So trying to get in early as a cold calling salesperson, I would forget that. You're right. It's marketing that needs to get that awareness early. If you look at a recent study that was put out by Biosphere, the analyst, they said that the number one reason a buyer chooses a vendor is because they'd heard of them before they started the journey. So getting that crucial early mind share or that awareness is absolutely critical. And as salespeople, we must rely on those marketing colleagues to help us build those buyer stage appropriate messages.
Okay, but I understand what you're saying, but making them aware of us, that's just push out all the marketing, isn't it? Hey, there's all... I think it's much more specific than that, isn't it?
It's much more sophisticated. You've got to have the right message at the right trigger point along the journey to get the customer's attention, to enable the salesperson to go in with some level of control. Otherwise, as you say, you turn up late when 60% of the sales journey's been done, the percentage probability of you closing that sale or converting that sale into revenue for the company is very limited.
So you are saying marketing need to be involved in the buyer journey right from the beginning of the buying journey.
Correct.
Right, or even before perhaps in some cases, but certainly from the beginning.
Yep.
So to me that means a couple of things. One is marketing really have to be involved in the sales process.
Completely.
Specific opportunity sales process.
Yes.
And two, marketing need to have the eyes and ears open to be ready to hear when a customer is beginning a buying journey.
Yeah.
And that's tough.
It is tough. I think, at an operational level, you've almost got to bring the two teams together physically and set the right roles and responsibilities and make sure the objectives are clarified so that everyone knows exactly what they're doing at each point in the process. And I mean, by process, I mean buying journey, not sales process.
Not sales process.
Correct.
Okay. And so as they move through that process, what's going to be happening and what are the different roles?
A lot of different things are happening. A lot of different tools are being used. If you think about big data and predictive analytics and all of the social tools, social listening tools that marketing people can leverage, there's a lot of, what do they say? In the last 2 years, 90% of the data that exists today has been created in the last 2 years. So marketing people are adept at using those tools, and they can bring those tools to bear to help the salesperson get to a point where they can actually influence the sale.
And part of those tools is actually getting content to the customer at specific points in the buying journey when they need that content.
Exactly. Trigger points.
Trigger points through that journey.
Yep.
And so that's marketing's role. They're now in the sales process. They're in the buying process for specific opportunities. You're not talking about, hey, putting this message out and trying to put out the content across a whole lot of buyers and vendor, buyers in the marketplace. You're talking about identifying every single buying activity and starting to manage the way you put the messages in there.
Yep. And I'm not saying, John, that that's going to happen in every situation within the B2B selling world, but with key target accounts that you're trying to open up or develop, you've got to get that alignment of sales and marketing.
And therefore the sales and marketing have to understand each other, understand what their roles are, be measured on similar things, and you need to have maybe service levels in place where you identify who does what and when they hand it over and what they deliver to each other.
Yep. Part of the research phase of the book, I talked about this concept of team-based selling, and that's where it's headed, with bringing marketing and salespeople together, putting your best team on the field at any given time.
There's a lot more than sales and marketing when you look at team-based selling, isn't it?
Let's
talk about that subject, maybe next.
Sounds good.
Okay. Bottom line is you have to align your sales and marketing.
Yep.
You have to do that around the buyer journey, so it's specific to every potential customer and specific to every opportunity or every buying activity that's occurring within that customer. So the marketing people really are part of the sales process from a buyer journey point of view.
Spot on.
Okay, the big transformation that's to happen in a lot of organisations on that. We'll talk about how in another interview.
Sounds good.
Thanks very much.
Thanks,
Graham.
John.